Hey man, what are you doing at the lightsaber? Don't you realize we're talking about Star Trek, not Star Wars?
Star Trek?
You got the wrong franchise.
Oh man. Hello, and welcome back to the 21st century. I am the 20th century dude, and as you can see here, my Star Trek collection is complete. I finally have all the movies and TV shows on DVD and Blu-ray. Well, at least the original shows, I might add. Everything from the original series up into the next gen era, and then Enterprise. I just got Enterprise yesterday. So my collection there of all that stuff is now complete. Of course, we have some VHS goodies in the back, along with a few others there in the front to show you. But otherwise, yeah, my collection is finally complete. I have all the Star Trek I could probably want or need. And yeah, let's begin the video. So I gotta figure out where I want to start with first. We'll start with the miscellaneous stuff. Ooh, let's see right here. We'll do some. We'll go with the CED. All right. So this is CED. It's a format. It's vinyl video. If you don't know what that is, this has the only two-parter of the series, the Menagerie, the original series. That is. I got this off of a friend who actually thought it was a Laserdisc, and of course it was not. It was CED. But I have what's the only two-parter, the Menagerie, on CED. So there's that. And we have two Wrath of Khans. We have Wrath of Khan on beta. This is my only Star Trek beta. The beginning part, unfortunately, doesn't work along with the credits, but the rest of the movie does seem to play fine. Again, this is why you need to, take care of your physical media properly. And other than the motion picture, this is the movie I have the most of. As you can see, Wrath of Khan is one of my favorite movies of all time. Of course, the best Star Trek movie of all time, so obvious why I'm going to want it the most. And of course, we have the director's cut from Nicholas Meyer on DVD as well. And I picked this up. I don't even remember where I picked it up at. Flea market, I believe it was. And of course, it was a different cut of the film, so I thought, why not? There's also the ABC cut that they had back in the day when they were airing it on television, which is another cut of the film, although that one's going to be harder to find, and I doubt it's going to be like restored to 4K or anything like that. Yeah, have Wrath of Khan. Of course, we have the original series movies, all six of them on Blu-ray. I've had this set for I want to say 9-ish years, maybe 8 by now. We have all these on a Blu-ray set, and I'd like to see, once I get a 4K player, I'd like to get this anyway on a 4K, see what they look like. Of course, we have the next gen movies, the four of them, on DVD. It's a nice set, although I would like to upgrade the Blu-ray at, some point. Just because I want to. I want to see these in high def. Obviously, the next gen movies weren't as good as the original series movies. But I still like about, half of them. Nemesis obviously was a doozy, and Insurrection had a lot of room for improvement, but I do like Generations and First Contact. Of course, we do have to address the elephant in the room. With the last three movies, we're not counting Section 31, that doesn't count. Star Trek and Into Darkness and Star Trek Beyond. And yes, this is the Kelvin timeline stuff. They're not exactly the greatest pieces of cinema ever put to screen, and this is where the franchise turned into more action movie than Star Trek, but it's at least good to have on DVD for reference. Whether or not I'll upgrade to high def for these, probably not. But there's DVDs of these anyway. Alright, so let's move on to our Blu-ray sets of the shows, probably the main attraction today. We're going to go in the timeline order, of course. We're going to go Star Trek, the original series. I did have this on DVD once. I gave that to a friend after he saved one of my hard drives from Oblivion. Well, the stuff on the hard drive, anyway. The original series is one of the only Star Trek series to be available on Blu-ray, so of course I wanted to make sure that I got the Blu-ray set. And honestly, I'm not a big fan of how Paramount, does these DVD and Blu-ray sets. The way you have to like get them out, and then you get your fingerprints all over the back of them. You have to clean them off every time you use them. I kind of hate that, so I'm half tempted to put these in sleeves. But otherwise, I do really love these sets. Of course, it gives you the episodes per disc and what season it is and whatnot. And we got 9 hours of bonus features. And for this, you have all the 79 episodes, including the restored The Cage pilot. You can listen to it in 7.1 surround sound or the original mono audio. Or you can, watch it the way, the original special effects or the restored special effects, which is kind of nice. It is a little bit cracked here, but otherwise, I do love this set. We do gotta address the animated series. A lot of people have forgotten about the animated series from the early 70s. It was a Saturday morning cartoon. It did exist for 2 seasons. I think it was only 24 or 26 episodes, I think. Sounds about right. And because of its short length, we only have 3 Blu-rays for it. And I did manage to finish the series a couple weeks ago because I went and rewatched it. We also have like we have mini posters for each of the episodes. So this is the one for Once Upon a Planet, and then we got this one for the Counterclock Incident, the one with Captain Robert April, the first captain of the Enterprise, according to Star Trek lore, and that's the very last episode of the series. And obviously, since it's smaller, it is a bit of a smaller set compared to the others, but it is, a nice companion piece with the original series. Now, granted, due to some, continuity errors and whatnot, there is debate whether the animated series is canon or not. Gene Roddenberry himself has said it's not. He doesn't consider it. It was a way to continue the original series on television, although I am more of the opinion that it, despite some, stuff like why is the holodeck on the ship, a century early, or why there are 2 doors on the Enterprise instead of 1, and whatnot, I'm of the opinion, I feel like something like the animated series happened, but maybe not completely the way it described. Because I also believe in the Counterclock Incident, they described the Enterprise as the first vessel with warp drive, and obviously we know that to definitely not be true. So, now we're going to move on to the best Star Trek show, The Next Generation, and I was definitely looking forward to getting the Blu-ray set for this, because it's an awesome Blu-ray set. And honestly, the reason I started collecting these on disc, obviously, I did want them at some point, but I believe Hulu and Netflix, they got rid of these shows. You couldn't watch them anymore, and if you did want to watch them, you have to subscribe to Paramount Plus, and again, you have to go to another platform to watch these. It's like, no, Besides, with these Blu-ray sets, you get to watch them in high def with no varying streaming internet quality. It can be where you want, whenever you want, right? It'll be on my terms, when I watch these. And yeah, it's a fantastic set. The restoration for the next generation in particular is extremely good. I love it. I love watching it in its remastered form. And you have, the episodes listed on the disc, obviously, so you can know which one to put in. And yeah, it's fantastic. Now, unfortunately, Deep Space Nine and Voyager, these shows are only available physical media-wise on DVD. These are going to be harder to restore because of the way they were edited and distributed. They were shot on film. The problem is they never went back and restored the film because the film was thrown out. So they edited everything on videotape, so all we have to go off of was, while it was a very good videotape back in the day, videotape is a lot harder to restore than like 35 or 16 millimeter film, so unfortunately, if you're a physical media fan, all you get is these DVDs. Maybe someday we'll get a Blu-ray. Some fans are using AI to restore these shows, Deep Space Nine and Voyager. But yeah, this is about all we got. So we got here the first 3 seasons of Deep Space Nine. This is, of course, see, this is what also I hate. These discs will just pop out randomly. But anyway, here are the first 3 seasons of the show. This is, of course, the show where we took a break from being on a ship and we were on a space station. Of course, titled Deep Space Nine, or in lore, when it was in charge of the Cardassians were in charge of it, it was called Terok Nor. So this is the first 3 seasons. And then we got the next 3 here, 4 through 6. And then, what do we got here? Season 7, of course, is infamously where Jadzia Dax was killed off and she was replaced with her second counterpart, Ezri Dax, for the very last season of the show. So it was definitely odd not to have, Terry Farrell there, but, nothing we can do about that. And what do we got here? Oh, it's a little booklet. I forgot about that. So, Deep Space Nine has been re-evaluated over the years, reviewed, and, of course, deconstructed, and it's become a favorite among Star Trek fans, because back in the day, it was not as well received, probably because of its darker war themes, but now it's one of the most beloved Star Treks of all time. Of course, I'm always on the fence about its decision to go from always depicting Starfleet as a utopian society to there's a war in a future where there's not really supposed to be any wars. I'm still, divided on that. Despite that, it's a very well-written series, some of the most well-acted. It does have some of my favorite episodes of all time. The Visitor is one of my favorite Star Trek episodes of all time, and it comes from this show. It actually almost brings me to tears. It's that well emotionally done. So this was, of course, the 3rd series I got. I wanted to watch it in its entirety again, and I figured, why not with this DVD set? We also got Voyager here, which I got last year. We got, seasons 1 through 4 in one set, and seasons 5 through 7 in another set. So I'm going to get them out for you. Again, like all the other sets. Actually, no, it doesn't. It's just blank on the inside. So if you want to know what episode it is you're watching, you gotta read it right on the disc. Yeah, as you can see here, I do have a replacement disc. It stands out among the others, and what happened was when I went out to pop one of the discs out, wanted to watch it, it shattered in half somehow. I did not realize I was putting that much force to try to get it out, and again, these are kind of a pain. And I had to go and buy a replacement disc. So it looks a little different, obviously. But, you know, again, this is why you take care of physical media, otherwise it will break. And last but not least with the shows, we got Star Trek Enterprise. And I'd say of these 6 shows, it's probably, if it's not my least favorite, probably my second least favorite. It's definitely not as high in quality as the stuff like the original series or the Next Gen era. This was back when they, of course, did, what was it, 4 shows back to back. They had Next Gen from 87 to 94, and then Deep Space Nine from 93 to 99, and then Voyager happened almost at the same time with Deep Space Nine. That was 95 to 2001, and then later in 2001 they went and started Enterprise, but there was already starting to be, you know, fan fatigue and whatnot. Fans were starting to get a little tired of Star Trek because we were given a lot over the years, especially with all the movies planted within that yet. I feel like nowadays in the streaming era, you could probably get away with something like that more, but I'm sure back in the day, especially at Deep Space Nine and Voyager, you definitely had to make a decision, you know, which series were you going to watch? Especially since you had, you know, the next gen movies and stuff going on at the same time. So I completely understand the frustration of, like, I can't keep up with all of this. But yeah, I have Enterprise now, and it's supposed to be technically a prequel to the original series, although again, I feel like that could be debated because of some technological and story errors that happen in here. Technology that they shouldn't have in here, because I believe Worf even says in an episode in The Next Generation, there were no phasers in the 22nd century, yet for some reason in the 22nd century, they have phasers. Now, again, one can just explain away, oh, you know, the temporal Cold War and all that. I don't believe that the temporal Cold War should be used as an excuse to explain away all plot holes and bad writing that may have occurred in Star Trek. So, I know there's also a big debate, and when Eugenics Wars and World War III happens, original series, of course, pointed out World War III is in the 1990s. Star Trek First Contact moved World War III to, I believe, the 2040s and 2050s. And Eugenics Wars was just a separate thing, but yeah, that's a whole debate. But yeah, that's it for the shows. And before I move on to the VHS section, we're going to take a little break with a promo.
And now, a word from our sponsor. Well, technically, 20th Century Dude doesn't have any sponsors for this channel. However, there are a few things that you can throw your support at. If you're familiar with the Paul B. Hardware Company, we are situated in Lidditz, Mechanicsburg, and Belleville, Pennsylvania. They were willing to give me a job when I was currently jobless for several months, looking for a job opportunity that nobody else is willing to provide. And although hardware is not in my area, it may be in plenty of yours. So if you're in need of any good deals as far as tools are concerned, or you need to bring your machine to a shop to have it fixed, such as your mower or a leaf blower or any other things of the sort, then make sure to check out Paul B. Hardware. You can order things online, so make sure to support this business as much as you possibly can, because if Paul B. Hardware is willing to give me a job, I feel like it's up to you guys to give them some support. After all, without Paul B. Hardware, this channel would not be as successful as it already is now, believe it or not. Now, on for our main programming. Don't touch the dial.
Alright, and we're back. Now we're going to be doing the VHS goodies portion of this video. And might as well just... Actually, you know what? We're going to start in the back, and then we'll get to the movies. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 VHS sets of the original series, and we got about 5 for next gen. We'll get around to.
And I used to have more of the original series, but I got rid of some of the bad episodes a long time ago. Maybe I would have kept it now, but I don't know. So you get about 1 to 2 episodes per tape. So with this one, you get the season 1 episodes, the Corbomite Maneuver and the Man Trap, which was the first episode shown on television. And honestly, if you haven't watched Star Trek before, I would highly encourage that you do that. Of course, watch all the stuff I showed you. I know there's all the new streaming stuff. Don't worry about it. Just don't. Then we got Aaron of Mercy and the Gamesters of Triskelion. And then, got some good ones. We got Mirror Mirror and the Omega Glory. Mirror Mirror is the one where they debuted the Mirror Universe. And then we have here the Ultimate Computer and Return to Tomorrow. And ultimately, I feel like the Ultimate Computer was an episode that aged very well. It's very accurate with what we're going through now concerning computers and AI and stuff. Now we're going to move on to Next Gen. This one only has the first episode of the series, the TV pilot, Encounter at Farpoint. And I should probably explain, it's a little sticky, what a pilot is. Typically a pilot is the episode that they make either on television or before the network executives. It's supposed to get, show off what the characters are like, what you can expect every episode. Basically give you, it's like a video game demo almost of what to expect later. And that's to see if there's going to be any interest in the series going forward. That's what a pilot is. And then we have these 2 episodes, Angel 1 and 11001001. That's the one of the Binars, the Binar species. Honestly, Angel 1 isn't that good of an episode. It's actually pretty terrible. I got it for, of course, the Binar episode, which is one of the decent episodes of the entire first season. The first season of The Next Generation is kind of a bit of a mess in terms of quality. You have a few episodes that, shine or worthy of attention, but otherwise it's really not that great. You get to about seasons 2 and 3, and it's something about season 3 of Star Trek shows. Maybe with the exception of the animated series, which never had a season 3, and the exception of the original series, all the other ones, whenever they get to season 3, that's when the quality seems to improve. So it's something about season 3 of Star Trek that just really seems to, get better. But now we're on to season 2. We have the episode Contagion and the Royale, and the Royale is the one where they go to that weird hotel-looking thing. And what's this? Oh yeah, this is Times Squared and the Icarus Factor. Times Squared is the episode with 2 Picards, and the Icarus Factor is the one. Oh yeah, that's when Riker is having trouble reconciling with his dad. And we have here some standouts. We have Pen Pals and Q Who. And Q Who was the debut of the Borg. This is the first episode that they were in. And Q also makes an appearance, obviously, because it has his name in here. This is a tape called Ultimate Trek I found at a yard sale. It's a compilation of Star Trek's greatest moments, hosted by Jason Alexander, at least up until 1999 at that point. So you get a mix of, the movies, original series, Next Gen, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and whatnot. It's not a very long tape. Yeah, it's only like 45 minutes, which is like the average length of a Star Trek episode. So it's really, it's a mixtape of moments from Star Trek. We have 2 copies of the motion picture here. This one is the famous special longer version that they showed on TV back in the day. They included 12 to 15 minutes of extended stuff. Unfortunately, not stuff that really makes the overall movie better. It's just extra like outtakes, extended portions of scenes, sort of just hapdash thrown in there. Even a special effects shot or two where nothing's finished. There's supposed to be a matte painting of the Enterprise when Kirk is exiting the ship in the space chute. And for whatever reason, they never covered up the fact that he's on a stage, so you get to see all the like stage parts and lights. And this is in the movie. This is what they decided to show on television, and it's just plain obvious that they never covered it up. So that this version of the movie is infamous for that. And honestly, they only added more footage to it to pad out the time a little bit for television because of commercials and whatnot. They made it go from a 130-minute movie to looks like 143 minutes. Probably because 2.5 hours on TV and commercials and whatnot sort of even it out. And here's the theatrical copy of the movie on tape. It's the first movie. And it's presented in letterbox format, which we know now as widescreen. It's the black bars on top and bottom because of the aspect ratio and whatnot. And it's in widescreen, and I don't recall it getting it in widescreen for some reason. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure it was one of those full screen tapes, but for whatever reason, and I just saw it the other day, it said it was in widescreen. So I must be having a bad case of the Mandela effect again. And again, another copy of Wrath of Khan. I actually just watched this last week because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And hey, I might watch this tonight. Actually, we'll just plow through these movies. So this is several days after the Wrath of Khan. This is, of course, the infamous one where the original Enterprise gets destroyed. Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't watched Star Trek before. The Enterprise infamously gets destroyed. And as you'll notice, unfortunately, I don't have Star Trek 4 with me on tape. It's the only Star Trek movie on tape that I do not own. And I have a reason for that. Because I did get Star Trek 4, and it was another widescreen tape because it had the little, Leonard Nimoy advert at the beginning of it, along with what I believe was a next-gen promo. Unfortunately, after the little next-gen promo, that was kind of for the tape. It just sort of snapped and shut off, and that was it. So apparently it was on the verge of breaking when I bought it. So I did have it for maybe a day, but that was about it. So no Star Trek 4. I will find it probably eventually. But we do have Star Trek 5. And yes, I know, up until Section 31 release, this was, and probably still is, it's the least well-received Star Trek movie to date, maybe with the exception of Nemesis. I don't know. Some people think Nemesis is worse. But Star Trek V's not the greatest. It kind of is a bad movie, although considering the Star Trek we've been getting nowadays, I'd rather have this bad Star Trek movie than whatever crap they schlopped onto Paramount Plus. And this was the last of the original series movies. Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. That was actually supposed to be the original title for The Wrath of Khan, and then they changed it to The Revenge of Khan, but because Revenge of the Jedi was coming out a year later, George Lucas didn't want a confusion, so they just changed it to Wrath of Khan, although they changed Revenge of the Jedi to Return of the Jedi anyway, so it didn't really matter. You'll also notice it's the special home video version. They add a couple minutes worth of scene. I think only like 2-3 minutes worth of stuff to the movie that's not available in any other version, I think, unless there is a DVD floating around. I don't know. What we have here, The Undiscovered Country, is the same director as The Wrath of Khan, Nicholas Meyer. So Nicholas Meyer's always giving us some good stuff. And I think he finished the original series out in the bang. Of course, we also have to bring up, we were now in the next-gen era. We have to bring up Generations, which was the first next-gen movie, but it does feature a couple members of the original cast, mostly Captain Kirk. Spock and McCoy were supposed to be in here, but Leonard Nimoy did not want to do a cameo in this movie. He thought it was kind of pointless. So Jimmy Doohan and Walter Koenig were in here instead at the very beginning, when you're on the Enterprise B. You can see here, cover's a little worn out, a little peeled off, but that's fine. But this was the crossover between the two captains of the Enterprise. And for people growing up now, I don't know how I would explain Star Trek Generations. I'd say it's like Spider-Man No Way Home, but definitely underwhelming by comparison. It's definitely not the crossover event I'm sure people were hoping for back then. When it's being reevaluated now, the reception hasn't gone that much better as well. Me personally, I like the movie for what it tries to do. But I do recognize it's like, as far as the movies are concerned, it's like an awkward middle level of quality. There's definitely worse Star Trek movies for me, but there's definitely better. And again, compared to Spider-Man No Way Home, it's definitely underwhelming by comparison. We have here Star Trek First Contact, the best of the next-gen movies. And I gotta be careful because I'm starting to get hiccups now. This is the one where they introduced the Borg Queen. As you can see here, the cover is pretty nice and shiny. They got a little 3D thing going on here. If any of you remember back in the 90s, after Jurassic Park The Lost World came out, it had a similar kind of cover. Alright, hopefully that helped a little. I got the last two here. Star Trek Insurrection, sorry. And this is when the next-gen movies start to decline in quality. This is not at the bottom for me, but it gets close. I'd say if I had to name the bottom three, it's probably Section 31, Final Frontier, and Nemesis. But actually, you know what? Not even Nemesis. Into Darkness. What am I saying? I'm going to actually give Nemesis a pass on that one. We get a nice blue case this time too, which is kind of nice. And this is Nemesis. Actually, it's not even a common VHS tape. I'm surprised I actually went out and found it. Apparently, this was only available as a rental back then. But I'm glad I found it. But the Next Gen era didn't exactly end on a high note. Kind of went out almost pretty pitiful, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, that's about it for Star Trek on tape. And yeah, that's my collection pretty much. And I'm just going to finish out with that because I see we have on my camera, we have 15 minutes of battery and 4 minutes worth of storage left on my SD card. So I'm going to have to be very careful with this outro, and I apologize for the hiccups. It's not like I really wanted hiccups at this point. Yep, it's all the movies and the shows and whatnot. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of the day. Live long and prosper, of course. I would try to do the Vulcan salute, but unfortunately, I cannot. But yeah, hope to catch you on the fly. See ya.